Morning guys, welcome back. I know that this video isn't going to be live streamed, so most of you are probably watching it after I have already recorded it and sent it on YouTube. If you have any questions, you could email me or we could have a chat in the class comment section. Alright, so last week we created our food list, which we're going to use for our food schedule, and this is basically our assignment for today. We create a schedule almost like the one for the classes that we did last week, but this time this is a meal schedule or a food schedule that we plan to follow or want to be something that we can look at during the week or before the week starts, so we can plan out what meals we're going to have. So I want you guys to go ahead and in first column A, row 1, we're going to go ahead and put day, then breakfast, lunch, dinner. I'm going to go ahead and format these columns. Let's make it to be 25. I'm going to format these rows to be also 25. I'm going to go ahead and put in the days, Monday, so we have 5 days, and then a meal plan or a meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for each day. I'm going to go ahead, highlight the first row. I'm going to go and make the size of the text be 14. Let it be bold, and then we're going to center everything. So we select everything, and then we center it horizontally and vertically. So now we go ahead and add our data validation. We highlight the rows that we want to apply the validation to. Go to data, go to the data tools section found here, and remember the little icon right above the word tools. Click on that. It'll say allow any value, but we don't want any value, we want a list. Where is this list found? Now, I never taught you this, but when you want to select a list, it doesn't have to be in the same sheet. You're allowed to choose lists from any sheet. So we go back to our food list here, and notice it changes the source to say, alright, food list, meaning check on this sheet. Last week, the examples that we've been doing were in the same sheet, but now we're referencing a list found on another sheet, in this case, our food list sheet. Go ahead and select the cells that cover all breakfast foods and click OK. Once you click OK, it comes back to the food schedule sheet, and then you have the arrows that show and allow you to select a food. So we basically do the same thing for lunch. Again, data tab, data tools, click on the icon above tools, list, source, click in the source box, go back to food list and select the list items under lunch. Click OK, and then if you look at the arrow drop down, is all the lunch items. So one more time, but this time for dinner. Again, data tab, icon above data tools, list, source box, select foods from dinner, click OK, and here is where you have your list that you can select from. So what we can do here is do some formatting. Go back to the home tab, let's make the days be bold as well, and then just go ahead and fill out your meal plan. select any of the items from the list. And like I said last week, one of the advantages of this is that every week you can go ahead and save this, and the following week, maybe on a Sunday afternoon when you want to plan out your meals, you can just mix and match different meal plans and change it up every week as you go along. So all of these can be changed at any time. So we're gonna go ahead and save. You should have already have this file saved from last week because it was day 4's assignment. What we're doing today is simply adding another sheet, naming it food schedule, which we did do last week also, but if you haven't, do that. And then on that new sheet, go ahead and apply these formattings. Now what I want you to do is go to File, click on Print. We're not printing, we just want to see how it looks. And again, notice the lines that are found in Excel are imaginary lines. They're there more for a guide for you to enter your information, but those lines are not present when you try to print or when you try to view it under Print Preview. So what we're gonna do is now add those borders, which we already did again in a previous lesson. I'm gonna go ahead, select the first row, right click, format cells, click on border. I'm gonna say outline. Actually I want it to be this one, the thicker line. Okay, now there's a outline there. Now what I'm gonna do is select everything below, again right click, format cells. This time I'm going to draw it out because I want to keep this thick line up here. Remember that line represents the one from row 1 because we selected right below it, therefore that line is this one right here, right between row 1 and 2. So I'm going to draw in my line this time. Let's go ahead and draw a dashed line. Let's use something different. So we're going to draw in between by clicking the boxes where I want the border to appear, and we're going to click OK. So now if we go ahead and preview, now you'll see the lines for our meal plan. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and draw a thick line around the outside of the table only, just so it looks a little bit better. So again, right click on everything, format cell, and then we're gonna go ahead and choose this line. I'm going to apply only on the outside. The inside stays the same. Alright, so there you go. And even if you want, you could also put this border only to be slightly different. So what we can do here is do a solid line, and I remember this line up here represents this one up here because that's what we selected. The line that outlines the outside or the left hand side of the row or the column is this one here, and then the one at the bottom is representing the bottom part here. So the only parts we want to edit now to be a straight regular line is inside and the right side. So basically we're changing these lines here that are in between the days, and then the one line that covers between day and breakfast. So when I click OK, notice that line is now a straight line, and the lines in between the days are also straight lines, and then the foods are separated by our dashed line that we chose earlier. Alright, so your assignment for this video is to do the same thing we did with the data validations, applying breakfast, all of these, and using data validation to select the list from the breakfast list found here. Do the same for lunch, for the lunch list. Dinner with the dinner list. Type in the days, type in the 3 names of the meals, center everything, bold the days for me, bold the first row, set the size of the text in the first row to be 14, and then go ahead and apply the borders on your meal plan. You don't have to make it be as complicated as the borders I chose to do. You can just go and select one line and just apply the same thing on all of them. Alright, I just decided to do this just to show you guys how manipulative or how dynamic you can apply borders on a table. So again, I repeat, you don't have to make the borders on this table look like this. You can simply just select the regular one, select in and outline, and that's okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and view it one more time. And this is what our meal plan would look like for the week. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and save it. And I already posted the assignment page, so make sure you go ahead and finish this when you can and upload it. Alright, I will try to give you a quick reminder of how to do this on Sheets. So I'm gonna be copying this just so I don't have to type it over. I'm gonna go ahead and add a new sheet with this plus button here. I'm gonna rename this to food schedule. Don't mind the mistakes. Then we go ahead and put day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then actually I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this. Right. And now we have to apply our data validation just like we did in Excel. So I'm gonna go ahead and minimize this. I'm gonna select these here. Okay. Notice again it says sheet 1. Reject input, save. So now all the arrows are there. Data, validation. Select this. Lunch. Okay. Save. Same thing for this one. Move this to the side. There we go. Save. So now we have our drop down for each one. I'm not gonna fill it in just for, again, sake of time. If you're using Google Sheets, make sure you go ahead and perform those formats that we were talking about. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and put a border. I'm just gonna put a thin line. Like I said, you could just do it like this. You don't need to make a complicated border. I'm gonna go ahead and increase the size of this to 14, and then bold and bold. Alright, so that's what you need to do on Google Sheets. Alright, then I'll end the video here. Make sure you do your assignments. I'll be online as usual from now, which is 8:47 my time, until 11 o'clock if you have any questions. Alright.